Okay. Tonight we're going to read Snoopy to the Moon. It's an older book. Puppy Dog's got a hold of it. But it's still readable. I love you guys. I'm very proud of you. And never forget that nothing in the world can ever change that. Keep an eye on each other. Don't forget to say your prayers. And read some Bible. Alright. Snoopy woke up to a bright sunny morning. Only one thing to do on a morning like this, Snoopy thought. Play golf. Snoopy looked around his doghouse, but he couldn't find his golf clubs anywhere. Where did I leave those golf clubs, he wondered. Snoopy asked his best friend and favorite caddy, Woodstock, about them. But he didn't know where they were either. Snoopy sighed. If Woodstock didn't know where the clubs were, there was only one more person to ask. Holding a golf ball and looking a little lost, Snoopy found Charlie Brown. Can't find your golf club, Snoopy? Charlie Brown asked. Snoopy nodded. Knowing you, I bet you left him on the moon. Charlie Brown was joking, but it did make Snoopy think. Did I leave my golf clubs on the moon? Woodstock chirped in. I have too been to the moon, Snoopy barked. Woodstock did not believe Snoopy at all. I was the first beagle to the moon, Snoopy announced. Woodstock just laughed. Snoopy needed proof. He dug through the books in his library and found one about science and NASA and the moon. See, there I am, Snoopy said proudly. He pointed to a picture of an astronaut playing golf on the moon. Woodstock chirped again. What? That's the famous astronaut Alan Shepard? Well, he's using my golf clubs, Snoopy howled. Snoopy stood proudly on the roof of his doghouse and declared, I am going back to the moon. I'm taking another huge step for beaglekind, Snoopy went on, and I'm getting my golf clubs back. Like Snoopy, Woodstock was always up for an adventure. He agreed to help Snoopy return to the moon so long as he got to go to the moon too. I couldn't go without my caddy, Snoopy smiled. Snoopy and Woodstock knew that getting to the moon would not be easy. They'd need a new rocket, new gear, and a whole lot of snacks. We'll have to make sure our rocket has a refrigerator. Woodstock didn't think their rocket would have room enough for a fridge. If the rocket was too heavy, it would take too much fuel to reach outer space. But last time it took me almost 3 days to get to the moon. That's too long to go without snacks. Woodstock agreed, as long as they brought some freeze-dried birdseed too. Snoopy showed Woodstock the spacesuit he wore last time he went to the moon. Gravity on the moon is not as strong as it is here on Earth. Plus, there's no oxygen, Snoopy said. That means you'll be lighter and that you won't be able to breathe. You'll need to wear a suit like this one. Woodstock shook his head. No. Why not? Snoopy wondered. It's useful and it looks cool, and you can jump really far. Woodstock was still not impressed. He rushed off and returned with 2 brand new orange spacesuits, one for him and one for Snoopy. Snoopy tried the suit on, and it fit well. It was easier to move in than his old suit was. Snoopy loved it. I always thought orange was my color. Next, they got to work making a new rocket. Soon, Charlie Brown came to check on them. What's going on out here? He asked. Snoopy handed Charlie Brown a set of blueprints. Blueprints are something that you draw before you build. You're building an SLS rocket and an Orion spacecraft? Snoopy nodded proudly. How is it that you can work hard to find golf clubs, but when I ask you to clean your dirty dishes, you're too tired? Charlie Brown asked. Snoopy shrugged and got back to work. Finally, Snoopy and Woodstock were ready to blast off. Charlie Brown wished them luck. Let me know if the moon is really made out of cheese, he laughed. Woodstock chirped a question. I don't know, Snoopy thinks. I've never actually tasted it. He began counting down from 10, 9, 8, and soon the rocket began to rumble. When they reached 1, the rocket shot off toward the moon, carrying Snoopy, Woodstock, and 950,000 gallons of fuel and a refrigerator full of snacks. Snoopy and Woodstock landed safely on the moon. They left their ship to take a look around. Woodstock was amazed. The landscape was pretty but almost empty, and it was hotter than he thought it would be, over 250 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot. Snoopy patted his buddy on the back. Kind of like a big dusty beach, isn't it? Snoopy scooped some of the moon dirt up with his feathers. Oh no, Woodstock scooped some of the moon dirt up with his feathers. No, the moon was not made out of cheese after all. Let's find those golf clubs, Snoopy thought. It's not a moonshot if we don't hit a few golf balls. As Woodstock explored and looked for Snoopy's clubs, he realized the moon was not shaped like a circle. It was really shaped more like an egg. Woodstock was staring at the faraway Earth, thinking about space and the egg-shaped moon when he tripped and fell into a crater and landed on. "My clubs," Snoopy cheered. "I told you they were here." Woodstock dusted himself off and chirped, pointing to the name tag on the clubs. "Well, Alan Shepard put his name on my clubs." Woodstock smiled and grabbed a golf club from the bag. "A quick 9 holes before we leave?" Snoopy asked, smiling. Snoopy hit the golf ball and sent it into space. "We'll never know where that ball lands," Snoopy thought, "but I hope it has an amazing trip." On Earth, however, Charlie Brown knew just where the golf ball landed. It crashed through the kitchen window and into his cereal bowl. "Oh, good grief," sighed Charlie Brown. And then here's the puzzle you can do. You find your maze. You like these. I know y'all like these maze puzzles. And you can ask for a maze puzzle, M-A-Z-E, just like this one. They're really good to complete. I love you guys. Sweet dreams. Don't forget to say your prayers.